Lore Together is proud to be part of the Boss Rush Games Network. Feel free to find out more at bossrushgames.com/network. Hi, I'm Safi.
And I'm Mystic.
And this is Lore Together. This is the podcast where a husband and wife team go over all the storytelling, world building, and characters of video games. Because it's what we like to do together. We lore together.
Yep, and this is episode 156.
Please don't ask how many times I needed to say the opening phrase right. Because
You've always said it 156 times at least.
At more than.
I know,
more
you're probably
than.
close to 200 now, because there's definitely been episodes where it's taken 12 times.
Not 12. I've never gotten to double digits, but it definitely, my brain was like, what if we replaced go with do? And I'm like, that's not a good replacement brain.
But before we get into the podcast, if you'd like to contact us, you can do that in many different ways. Instagram, Blue Sky, Reddit, YouTube, Steam, Discord, down in the description down below. Or you can contact us via email at loretogether@gmail.com. You can also check out our website at loretogether.com, where you can find this podcast, obviously, but also links to our Let's Plays and Safi's books. More on those in a minute. If you'd like to support the podcast, and we hope you do, you can do that in two different ways. First is 5 stars, thumbs up, whatever it is, wherever you're listening, we appreciate it. The other way is through Patreon at patreon.com/loretogether. We can pay a per episode pledge, that's per podcast episode, to get early access to those podcast episodes, as well as exclusive access to Let's Plays, voting access for our public Let's Plays, including early votes for some decisions, and double votes for chat decisions when we're doing live decisions. And patrons at our $2 and $3 levels also get copies of Safi's novels.
So at the $2 level, you get the standalone sci-fi, my debut novel, Mother Revolution, about a single mother discovering a race of individuals whose shackles are crafted in code. And then at the $3 level, you will get a digital copy of the first of my trilogy, the fantasy trilogy. It's called the trilogy is called The Injured Tapestry, and the book is called Hidden Root, about the forming of what is called the King's Dagger in a time where it may be the last order the king makes. So also just a note, if you're curious about this and you're not a patron, being a patron is the cheapest way to get a digital copy of these books, foregoing any kind of sale. So feel free to sign on to download some books and then say, bye, I guess I'll take your $3. That's perfectly fine with me. But also, thank you everybody for your continued support throughout the years and time. And that is part of the reason why a digital novel is our thank you.
All right. So we're going to nerd out a bit on this episode.
I've been told that I guess I should know this series because this
is a franchise we both absolutely love.
Okay.
But we've never covered a game for it.
Oh, I have an idea already.
And it's not a game first franchise. You did know that already. But this is a game only story. We've covered something like this before.
Okay.
When we did Blade Runner.
Yes, we did do that.
This franchise has existed for decades with many movies, TV shows, books, movies, and many video games. It is a hallmark for sci-fi fans the world over.
Okay. So there's two options it could be. Star Trek or Star Wars.
And which one do you think it is?
I'm going to go with Star Trek first.
You are correct.
Ha! I know my husband.
Star Trek Voyager Elite Force.
Oh, you sly dog.
What?
Voyager?
Yeah.
The series that you tried to say had the best captain, and my mother was so offended when you said that.
This is going to be a long episode.
This is literally when we first started dating. So
in my defense, it was probably one of two series of Star Trek I had watched at that point.
Well, look, I'm not going to be mad at anybody who says Janeway is their favorite captain, but my mother is a little bit of a purist because she's been there since Well, she's been watching it since the series is pretty much aired, and she watched it with her father. So I'm a third generation Trekkie. And on top of that, it's not like my father isn't nerdy. He's just not like a pop culture nerd in the same way my mother is. So Mystic comes into this generationally nerdy family, right? And starts spouting these opinions for being you're not a black sheep.
Janeway is awesome. Pulaski was great.
You're not a
Star
black
Trek
sheep
5
of
was
your
fun.
family, but you're definitely raised from a family who doesn't know what to do with your nerd energy and is just kind of starting to figure out what that means, because our son is inheriting some of those, a lot more of the video game stuff more than anything else. So, and the Legos. He's into Legos right now. But, yeah, so you're coming in and you have these opinions and they're really unique and you didn't have a lot of people to talk to about it. Meanwhile, I grew up watching Next Generation and my mother had opinions about every version of Star Trek up to that point, and you were like a Janeway apologist to her who felt like...
Apologist?
Well, I will say this. My mother's issues with both Janeway and Sisko are writing related, not actor related. She loves those actors. She thinks they're great. She thinks that they both did well with the material they were given. She did not like them giving Janeway nuance that they didn't really give to other male captains. She didn't like that Sisko had to wait to be a captain. Even though military structure wise, it makes sense that if you're at an outpost, you're more likely to just be a commander before you would be a captain because you don't have a ship. But she hated it. She hated that. She thought it was demeaning. And that's why she's had those issues. You look, don't argue with me in the comments. It's not my argument. It's my mother's. And it might have evolved because this has now been, oh my God, it could, what is it? Been like, it was like 16 plus 17. No, almost. No, it's going to be this year.
It's going to be 19 years this year.
That was 18. Because we met in 2008.
Yes. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So within those 18 years, my mother's opinion probably has changed. So chill, guys, in the comments. We're not here to fight about who's the best captain. I just think it's hilarious that when we go to the series, the first choice you made wasn't Star Trek Online.
No, because I didn't want to have to deal with the Star Trek Online is very big.
It is very big.
And I didn't want to pick one part. This was actually the second best game on a list I found of Star Trek games.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, that's why I picked this one. Because
Okay.
it was second best, and also I have it.
Oh,
So,
bonus. Yeah, because we have to do the stream. So,
Yes.
that base is covered.
Yeah, I have this one through GOG.
Thank you. What's
so-
GOG stand for again?
GOG. It's
No, the
Good Old Games.
Good old games.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
I don't know if it still is called that, considering they do a lot of new games too.
Yeah.
But this is a 2000 game by Raven Software, published by Activision. Obviously, both of those still exist.
In some capacity.
Yeah, though Activision is now owned by Microsoft.
Good and bad.
Raven Software has been pretty much involved in Call of Duty only since 2010.
Boo! Why waste that? Well, I say why waste that talent. I'm sure by now the talent that's still there, they're so excited for getting. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to stop talking because now that I'm going to anger my fellow Trekkies, I'm going to anger the Call of Duty fans. I'm just going to make everybody angry today.
Just to
Add to the list of people I'm making angry today.
answer your accusations earlier and my pre-enlightenment viewpoints. Sisko's not my favorite captain. I still like Pulaski to a smaller degree, though. Here's
Okay.
no, I'm not going to go to here's why, because that'll just take another hour.
All I'm saying is Pulaski is a symptom of the sickness that was not treating women fairly in the acting studio.
That is
end of story.
honestly exactly what I was about to say, and it was going to take longer. So good job succincting my.
That's hey, I write books. I write them well and succinctly. Go read them.
I think, yeah. Anyway, and my favorite movie in Star Trek is Undiscovered Country now. So
That is a rare one. Because usually I feel like, especially if you're going to go with the OG ones,
Wrath of Khan,
Voyage
Home,
and A Voyage Home.
Yeah.
So it's either Star Trek
2 or 4.
2 or 4.
Yeah.
Poor 3. Just got the short Search of Spock, short end of the stick.
Clearly, you guys can tell that we like our Trek. We are not going to explain all of what Star Trek is. It's been around for 60 years. It's a cultural touchstone. It's one of the biggest franchises in the world.
Can I make a little bit of a preamble to this, just because also this is a history now that I carry in my heart from my family. One of the best things that Star Trek has represented for a long time, and now with a bit of its renaissance that I have not kept up with because unfortunately I'm a mother and I write books, so I have no time to watch any of the stuff I used to watch anymore. But one of the things it represents is a very hopeful future, which I think is part of the reason that it has been an evergreen kind of series, regardless of if it was actually producing new shows or not.
Right.
There's a lot of people who, as writers, put a lot of their worries about society in science fiction because it's a good way to talk about it without being as accusatory. And then if you read back to some of that stuff, which can include anything from, some people would include 1984, which I think is kind of loose, but mostly, any Huxley books, Asimov books, a lot of even Le Guin and Butler, who in particular, everybody's now quoting Parable of the Sower now. Science fiction has been a lot of fear of what the worst humanity can do and what will be required to rectify it, if it is rectifiable in the eyes of the author. What Gene Roddenberry did when he made the original series is a space to talk about the ills that we have on Earth, but in a hopeful perspective of, we will at some point become so enlightened that will be what we are trying to help other aliens get through, the painful points of civilization when you are still dealing with unnecessary conflict, and can get to this point of, everybody has a home, everybody has a job until they can't work anymore, everybody has a purpose, everybody's fed, everybody's clothed. The class stratification is no longer there. And when you go to other planets where it's there, it made it easier for him to talk about that stuff when, in a day and age when he wanted to write about race relations and economic strife and political situations, he was not being allowed to shoot those TV shows because producers and other people of power in media said, we're not going to let you do it. They were convinced it wouldn't sell, or I think more likely they just didn't like how close to home it was. So since then, Star Trek has been one of the most hopeful versions of the future in media that we get to look to.
Right. I agree.
Yeah. I think it's an important thing for anybody who doesn't know Star Trek to know. Honestly, I think it's something we forget to point out. It is hopeful. I mean, even Galaxy Quest, which some people consider the best Star Trek movie ever, and is a parody, gets that right, and that's why it's such a good parody and beloved film of Trekkies. It gets that part right.
So anyway, not to dismiss all of what you just said, but I have to continue on with the script.
I know. So we're going to now talk about a Star Trek game. Yes.
Well, we're gonna also talk a little bit about Voyager because we have to set the scene at least.
Yes.
So Star Trek Voyager was the 4th TV show in the franchise, starting in 1985 and lasting until 2001. Given the star date we get in the game, this game takes place during the 6th season of the show between episodes 21 and 22.
Wow, that's very specific.
Yeah, and as in the original release of this, most of the cast reprised their roles. Only Jerry Ryan was not available. Oh. And then they did an expansion pack that actually just added all her lines dubbed in by her into the main game. So all the cast is available.
Shout out to Jerry Ryan, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was an early day for expansion packs. It was just some multiplayer maps, Jerry Ryan's voice, and I think there was the ability to walk around the ship.
Well, that's cool. I'm glad they were able to get the full cast to voice it. And again, it's
probably the most work Robert Beltran had in season 6.
Oh.
They didn't do much with this character in the last couple seasons there.
No. Oh. Okay. I just want to put an asterisk here. Because I think we need to just ethically have this asterisk. We need to talk about Chakotay very briefly. Very, very briefly. Chakotay was originally thought to be an indigenous American-inspired character. They wanted to have some more diversity, so they brought on somebody who they thought was of indigenous ancestry to North America. Turns out that person was a hack. So, unfortunately...
Yeah, the character is kind of...
playing into a lot of stereotypes because this person not only was not indigenous, but didn't even try to, like... know more and like do actual research and talk to people that were in that community. So there's a lot of stuff that happens in the show in general that is actually very cringeworthy. I'm not saying it's going to be necessarily in the game, but I want to put that little asterisk to acknowledge we know of it. It's not cool, but it's also what we have, and it was unfortunately born out of the best intentions.
Yeah, that's where we'll leave that.
Yeah.
Now, for those that don't know, the Federation starship Voyager is cut off from Starfleet on the other side of the galaxy in the Delta Quadrant, which has been slowly making its way back home to the Alpha Quadrant, where Earth and other main species are, which is a trip of 75,000 light years. For reference, the Milky Way is 87,400, give or take 3,600 light years. So, long journey.
Yeah, very long journey.
Over that journey, it has found itself in many dangerous situations. Security Chief Tuvok, who is a Vulcan, this does not really come into play that often, but if you want to know what a Vulcan is, they have suppressed their very high emotions to the point that they are almost emotionless.
Yeah. Well, they appear emotionless
is
essentially the point.
But Security Chief Tuvok has therefore created a special team called the Hazard Team to handle dangerous situations. Ensign Alexander or Alexandra Monroe, our player character, is second in command of this team after Lieutenant Les Foster, and the team has been outfitted with new tech from our ex-Borg crewmate 7 of 9. We mentioned Jerry Ryan, this is her character.
Yes.
A weapon called the Infinity Modulator, which continually cycles its modulation to help dispatch the quick-to-adapt Borg. The Borg, for context, are a collective of cybernetic beings that, for the most part, act as one of the major antagonists in the franchise. Their numbers are made up of hundreds of species from equally many worlds, all injected with nanomachines to assimilate them into the collective consciousness. And the primary goal for the species is perfection, which to them means assimilating as many races as possible to gain access to as much scientific data and biological uniqueness as possible.
It's kind of also there to sustain their numbers in particular.
Yes.
By this time in Voyager, it was also introduced that they were led by a queen, so it was more of like a hive mind concept with a ruler, more like insects, where originally it was more of a hive mind, more kind of like they all think the same.
Yeah.
7 of 9 is kind of a reference to I'm one of a group of these people who like doesn't have a name. You are essentially part of the traveling group that went out and like surveyed or anything like that. So that's it's interesting how over the years the idea of the Borg has evolved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Hazard Team boards a Borg cube armed with an experimental version of the Infinity Modulator. Unfortunately, the team is ambushed and captured, and Monroe is the only member to escape. Monroe must traverse the cube's hazardous environments to reach the location where the rest of the team is being held prisoner.
Prisoner?
Yes.
What, the Borg held prisoners?
After unsuccessfully attempting to hack into a Borg control panel, Monroe uses their phaser rifle to destroy it, causing an explosion that envelops the area, ending the holodeck training simulation. They failed.
Yeah. So another thing I'd like to say that as a fan that told me something was off, Borg don't have hostages typically unless it's for some sort of like war game sort of advantage. They typically just assimilate you.
Yeah.
You just get the nanobots and you're now Borg. Yeah.
After being dismissed for debriefing, Monroe speaks to Tuvok about the impossibility of the mission, saying that there is no way to know the panel they fired at would explode. While in the turbo shift with Tuvok, a red alert is called, and so we are off to the bridge. Voyager responds to a distress call, only to be attacked by the ship that has come to help.
Hence the red alert. Yeah.
After taking heavy damage from the alien ship, and when phasers have no effect, Voyager is able to destroy it with a spread of photon torpedoes. The ship explodes in an expanding bubble of energy, which envelops Voyager. The next thing you know, they are in an unknown area of space surrounded by wrecks of dozens of alien vessels.
Oh, wow.
It seems Voyager can't stop from being pulled to different areas of space.
That is a problem that Voyager has on the regular in that show. It's so funny how many times they almost go off course.
Yeah.
Only then to be helped by an unexpected Deus Ex Machina.
Yes. Cue the opening credits. We actually get
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but weirdly without the Voyager theme from the show.
No, the Voyager theme is actually pretty solid. Yeah.
Yeah. What we get isn't bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not the Voyager theme.
It's better than the Enterprise theme. I'm sorry.
I always find it weird when licensed games don't get the music. I know it's because the music is under a different license structure.
Yeah, entirely. Yeah.
But it just still feels weird, you know?
It does feel weird. It should be the same, but alas, copyright is king when it comes to that stuff.
Naturally, when we get back to the game, all of these events have caused the warp core to overload.
It's always the warp core.
And engineering sends us in to respond.
But we're security.
Well, we're hazard. We're like hazard team. So.
Oh, okay.
It is still weird that B'Elanna is sending us in there. But here we are.
Okay, yeah.
Gamification, obviously.
Yeah, okay.
So Monroe successfully shuts down the core. Shortly thereafter, a group of Malon, humans, Hirogen, and Klingons beam onto Voyager and begin stealing supplies from the ship's cargo bays. They are repelled by security and the hazard team personnel.
Okay. You said 4 different,
I know. So the Malon, the Hirogen are both races in the Delta Quadrant.
Yes.
The Klingons are races back home. It's weird that they're here, to me. Of course, this is season 6. We're getting near the Beta Quadrant where the Klingons are.
Yes.
So this could just be a vessel that was there. But also, vessels were pulled into the Delta Quadrant by the Caretaker and other entities a bunch. So,
yeah, and we're not explaining what the Caretaker is right now.
No, we're not going to get into it.
No, we're not anywhere.
It's not at all relevant to this.
Yeah. What I want to just put here, Mystic. Which wiki should they go to if they want to see what these aliens look like and they haven't seen them before?
Oh, definitely Memory Alpha.
Okay. Yeah, I just figured we'd give it a shout out.
Most of this game was on Memory Beta.
Oh.
Because Memory Alpha is for Alpha Canon stuff. Memory Beta is for licensed material.
Okay, cool. So, good to know.
There was some overlap because, of course, we have the actors
doing
here.
The voice work. So they I'm assuming they link to each other
a little
constantly,
bit.
Yeah.
It's quickly discovered that Voyager is stuck due to a dampening field. That's why all these ships are stuck here.
Okay.
Most of the sensors are down. They can't fly either. Mm-hmm. They can't form a stable bubble. They're stuck.
Dampening field is a common term used whenever a ship needs to be stuck somewhere for the plot.
They do find one ship nearby with their few sensors they have that seems to have a functioning power supply. So Hazard Team is sent to investigate the supposedly abandoned ship. The team is split into 2 teams and then set to 2 different destinations in the ship. The goal is to find a functioning terminal to get at least some information on the area.
Okay.
However, the team is attacked and the vessel's shields are raised. The 2 teams now need to take out 3 main points, the computer core, backup power, and main power, to regain control of the ship, just be able to leave with the information they have gotten.
Oh, wow. Okay.
While the team is split in 2, Lieutenant Foster's team is ambushed, leaving Monroe's team to take out the main power. Though they are down by 1, crewman Telsia Murphy simply vanished when a strange energy field struck her.
Oh.
And Monroe and I think it's Chell? I could be wrong. But Monroe and the other crew member who was on their team both think she's dead.
Mm.
As they're trying to cut primary power, though, and we've now reunited with Lieutenant Foster as well. The captain of this vessel appears to Monroe and begs them not to turn off the power, as his crew is in hibernation and would die.
Oh my gosh.
All the attacking and everything turns out to be standard misidentification and miscommunication. Turns out Telsia and the other members of the team were captured for the aliens to analyze, basically to figure out how to communicate.
Oh.
Like, what we're doing isn't working. Let's get some and try to figure it out.
Uh-huh.
So these aliens have been trapped here for 25 sol years, as they put sol standard years.
Yes.
And eventually a peace treaty is hashed out with the Etherians, and Voyager has its first ally in this strange space, and they begin to exchange information back and forth.
Okay.
The basic crux of what they learn with the information is that the dampening field comes from something called the Forge, which looks like a large station, could be a strange machine. They're lacking for information at the moment to determine which is which.
Would that also possibly translate to La Forge?
Boo.
Sorry.
Now, they do find out that isodecium is a rare isotope that is not being affected by the dampening field, and Chief Engineer Belana Torres thinks that they can use it for repairs and to get main power working again.
I hope so. That'd be nice.
Problem is, the best source they can find of isodecium is from the scavenger base, which is basically where that group that attacked Voyager earlier came from. Transporters are a no-go due to an inhibitor field on the scavenger base, so the team will be shuttled there by Ensign Paris, which I found surprising since I always thought Tom Paris was at least Lieutenant Junior grade, which outranks an ensign.
So it's weird because one thing to remember is that Janeway goes out of her way to find him in prison where he's doing work, right?
I know, but in episode 1, he is made Lieutenant Junior grade.
Yeah.
So, because that was his rank when he got his commission in the first place, I believe. Like when he left Starfleet, he was already Lieutenant Junior grade. So when he came back in Voyager, I think he was Lieutenant Junior grade.
I would double check on that because I thought it was that he had to start over.
I don't think he started over because he gets a demotion down to ensign.
Oh.
In season 5, which I totally forgot about. He gets that for gross insubordination.
Jeez. It's not for the salamander story, is it?
No.
Okay.
And he gets promoted back to Lieutenant Junior grade in episode 26 of season 6, I think. But it's after the events of this game, which just kind of cements the fact, like, hey, this is the one point of time where he's an ensign.
Yeah.
And it fits with the game. So someone actually took the time to be like, what is his rank?
Yeah. This guys, if you haven't watched a Star Trek episode, and I believe many of you have, but for those of you who haven't, this has a lot of the classic hallmarks of a more action punchy adventure episode of Star Trek. We'll still probably have something philosophical to pontificate on, but yeah.
Paris takes them over on the Delta Flyer, which is a custom shuttlecraft that the Voyager crew have built because they're cut off and have to make their own supplies. We're going to talk about this base for a moment, though, because there's something that's pretty interesting about it if you're into Trek.
Ooh,
and I don't know why. I have not found any reason why this is.
Okay.
So don't expect me to have an answer for why this is.
Okay, that's fine.
The base is a mashup of different vessels. That's not the weird part. So we have parts of a Malon freighter. We have a bit of a Hirogen hunting vessel, a Klingon bird of prey.
Yeah.
All right. And a mirror universe version of a Constitution-class starship, which is the same as Captain Kirk's. I don't know how the mirror universe ship ended up here. We do deal with Terrans, like the humans that we were dealing with are Terrans.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I couldn't find why.
So that's constantly something that comes. Okay, so Mirror Universe. Let's give a little preamble to this too, just because there's just so much to go on that I feel like So when we're talking about Terrans, there is an literally official alternate universe where Earth essentially is full of evil people. Like violence is the answer on that version of Earth.
I mean, yeah, to the first contact in the quote real universe, the Prime universe,
Yes.
was, Zephram Cochrane, the person who created warp drive and basically the first faster than light travel we have in Star Trek, shaking hands with a Vulcan. And then having drinks with him.
A Vulcan, essentially, the Federation had already existed and basically would look for other... No, this is like, well, not Federation, but like members, like the Federation existed before humans were part of it, wasn't it? I'm misremembering. Anyway.
No. Enterprise ends with the Federation founding.
Sorry, excuse me. I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. But it was a known thing across spacefaring civilized aliens that at least the Vulcans would reach out and make first contact
when something was interesting.
No, specifically warp drive.
Yes.
That is like and that's the standard the Federation kept, which is why. So
in the mirror universe, when Zephram Cochrane reaches out to shake that Vulcan's hand, they don't go for drinks. He just shoots them
and steals their technology.
Yeah. So the mirror universe is basically might makes right.
Yes.
Strongest is the highest in the meritocracy, quote unquote. So yeah, how the mirror universe is here, no idea. I couldn't find any reason why it was here. I went through so many videos of this game and I couldn't find anything.
It could just be something that, like, since we have somebody or a team of people writing this who are willing to even point out that this is the era when Paris was an ensign, is that's probably just one of those things where, like, it's something very cool that we don't have to explain, but would make sense. And it would make sense, though, that stranded Terrans would proceed to act like this.
Right. And again, they are stranded. There are vessels here from all over space. It's not just this one little area that Voyager was in.
So something weird happened in the other universe, which we have throughout all the series of Star Trek. Terrans become relevant back and forth. Yeah.
I don't think it's the Defiant, which is a mirror universe craft, which did end up in the Prime timeline at some point. Not the Deep Space Nine Defiant, but anyway, we're way off base here.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry.
I did say we were going to nerd out.
I'm just trying to say it's possible, and it's plausible enough in the world that not only does it make sense, and then the Terrans would react to this world in this way. Basically, like, we're going to start a little stronghold here.
Yeah. So infiltrating the base, Monroe and his team locate samples of isodesium and prepare to set up pattern enhancers to beam out. During that whole process, things go wrong. Telsia is being taken prisoner by the Terrans. Monroe goes undercover grabbing a Terran uniform, and she plays prisoner, which doesn't work out, but they eventually make it out.
Yeah.
Things continue to go sideways, though, at the very end, just as they're about to all beam out with the isodesium, only to have the Borg beam in.
Whoa.
Like, they turn on pattern enhancers, Borg beam in. Abduct Lieutenant Foster, including hitting him with nanotubes, which start the assimilation process.
No!
Killing one of the team, and then they leave, taking the isodesium with them.
Well, this is like the midpoint episode plot twist, isn't it? This is absolutely that.
When they get back to Voyager, Monroe gets debriefed by Tuvok. Monroe didn't want to shoot at the Borg to save the isodesium because they were afraid of hitting Foster. Tuvok tells them that would have been an acceptable risk because now they don't have the isodesium.
Yeah, also Borg.
Monroe counters that Foster might be dead then. Tuvok says that this emotional decision might have cost the lives of the crew because they need that to do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is, if you watch, first of all, unemotional as in like earnestly unemotional, not the unemotional, aka the guys on the internet claiming that their argument's better because men are the more logical of the sexes. This is legitimately the people who are very calmly telling you messed up to the point of frustration. Like, you want to yell at them and they're just staring blankly at you back being like, but you do understand that you might have killed us all because you decided to make that decision.
And basically says that Monroe should consider this in the future when making command decisions. Turns out there is a Borg cube in the area, and Monroe is tasked with leading the hazard team to get on board with 7 of 9. to track down the isodesium and rescue Foster if possible, but the isodesium is the main priority.
Yeah, unfortunately, Foster... And also, it's kind of known by this point in Voyager that that's par for the course. They've been dealing with the Borg a lot. The Borg are kind of obsessed with the fact that Voyager's kind of out there and vulnerable.
Yeah.
And been messing with Janeway in particular. So they're happy to like mess with them some more.
Yeah. We find out on this cube that the ship Voyager was responding to way back in the beginning of all of this was in fact sent by the Forge. Another of those types of ships was what trapped the Borg cube.
Oh, wow.
Once here, the Forge sent a vessel to the cube with an invading force known as the Harvesters. The Harvesters do just that. They tear apart ships and abduct crews, taking them all back to the Forge.
Yeah. Okay, that's very Terran coded, honestly.
Well, this isn't Terran now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
That's fine. We're done with the Terrans for the rest of this. Yeah.
Okay, so
that's what I'm saying. I have no reason why this is here. It's just this one little bit.
The ship is the only bit?
Yeah, the ship and the crew from it are the only thing here that's Terran.
So, but the ship but isn't that ship part of what makes the Forge, or am I...
No, the Forge is a central thing within this field of derelict and decrepit ships that have all been stuck here.
So it's insinuated that the Terrans just had really bad luck flipping over to the Prime Universe and then being...
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Sorry. That's a
fine.
lot.
That's fine.
This is, guys, if you're confused...
This is probably about 4 episodes worth of plot.
No, it's 2.
No, by the time we're done.
Oh, by the time we're done. Okay. All right. We'll see if I agree with that.
Within the Borg ship, as they are walking around, they find a Borg vinculum, which is the central processing core for the Borg cube. And the Borg use it to either possess Seven, or Lieutenant Foster will appear as a Borg drone if Monroe fails to rescue him beforehand.
Oh, interesting.
Also, if Seven is possessed by this thing, one of the crew assumes Seven has just turned on them.
Oh, wow. Oh, prejudice. Great. Love it.
Regardless, whether it's Seven or Foster, the communication will begin with the Hazard team. The Borg will surrender the isodesium if the Hazard team defeats an onboard infestation of species 8472.
No! Holy fan service, Batman! What the heck? So, species 8472. Do you have a little description of what the heck these guys are?
I think it got lost in an edit, so no, I don't.
Okay, species 8472.
I have that their species have been stuck in a war with the Borg for a long time at this point. That's about all I got.
The big thing was when they were introduced around, like, I want to say season 4. Season 4, okay.
Beginning of season 4.
Beginning of season 4.
They're the reason Seven is on this...
On Voyager
to begin with. Because...
the Borg were... The thing is, this species... which comes from a very different part of space where it's not just...
Fluidic space. Whatever the heck that is.
It means it's not full of, like, dark matter, which is what most of space is made of. It's filled with something else entirely. So the species evolved to exist differently. And they have a disease that kills everything, including the Borg. It was the one thing that the Borg did not know what to do with. They couldn't assimilate them properly. And... what essentially ends up happening in season 4 is
spoilers, by the way.
Spoilers, by the way.
Free.
For a show that's like, oh my gosh. So it's old enough to drink, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah. So what ends up happening is the Borg have to essentially come with their little cables in between their legs, so to speak, and say, Voyager, will you help us defeat this enemy together? And Voyager's like, crap, we have no choice, man, because we're all going to die if we don't.
I mean, yeah, it's not that. It's that Voyager goes, hey, we see you're having a problem.
Oh, that's fair.
We may have a solution.
That's right.
If you give us free passage to your space, we can get closer to home.
Basically, they have to taunt them and be like, we have an idea, and your special nanotech will help with it, but also we need free passage before we make it for you.
Yeah.
Jerks.
Long story short, Borg are not really trustworthy when it comes to that type of negotiation.
No.
The Hazard team succeeds in all of this, but of course, as I just said, the Borg double-crossed them.
Yeah, the Borg are pedantic in all the wrong ways.
Yeah.
They're not going to lie to you, but they're going to definitely make sure that there was a hole in that contract.
Yeah. However, Crewman Chang of the Hazard team then detonates a det pack that they planted early in the mission when they were underneath this vinculum.
Security bomb?
Pretty much. Destroying the cube's vinculum, which disrupts the central network for all the Borg consciousness on this ship and allows the Hazard team to escape with the isodesium.
Oh, gosh, we had a whole side quest for the isodesium.
Yes.
This is... Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Man. We have somebody who runs a Star Trek game, and I'm like, why does this sound like something he would have done?
Back on Voyager, a vessel approaches from the Forge. Now, during a staff meeting, Severin surmises that its harvesters come to harvest Voyager and its crew. Voyager's forever ensign in operations, Harry Kim, mentions...
Oh my god, justice for Harry!
mentions that the records from the Etherians had information on a gunship in the area. Seven brings up that this ship is built by species 1567, who sent out automated gunships as part of their war strategy. I could find zero record of species 1567 beyond this mention when I looked. By the way, the Borg species designations between Memory Alpha and Memory Beta go up to 95,012, which are Packlets.
They should be at the bottom. They should, honestly, Packlets should be at the bottom. We cannot go on this side tangent. So you couldn't figure out what number of corresponds to that specific species?
There's not always a correlation. Sometimes it's like, you're a species, blah, blah, blah. And it never has a name or anything beyond that. Oh. It's one character who's killed off, or like it's a skeleton that was, scanned, and Seven mentions what species it was, and that's it.
Because she retains a lot of Borg data, but
yes.
it's coded in Borg language, so to speak.
Yeah. With Voyager's weapons still offline, Tuvok suggests boarding the gunship and using it to destroy the harvesters before they can get to Voyager. After stopping a group of scavengers from taking over the gunship itself, the Hazard team proceeds to a control room. They attempt to fire the weapon at the harvester ship approaching Voyager, but it turns out the automated loading mechanism is damaged, so the ammo needs to be loaded manually.
This is a classic sci-fi trope, let alone
yes.
Star Trek. I'd like the manual loading of dangerous weapons is always just something.
Yeah.
Let's increase the tension.
Ensign Monroe and two crewmen proceed through the gunship to and encounter maintenance and security drones that are programmed to exterminate any intruders. It's a game.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a game. We have to have stuff like this.
It's essentially the Star Trek version of Whack-A-Mole at this point.
It's a late 90s game. It came out in 2000.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
The team finally gets to the loading chamber to fire a charge at the harvester vessel just as it clamps onto Voyager. However, instead of destroying it, the blast has only disabled the vessel. The harvesters inside the vessel invade Voyager, causing significant internal damage. They're successfully repelled, leaving the vessel intact for study.
Oh.
Captain Janeway, who has, of course, been involved in all of these meetings and deliberations, but...
Yes.
And the rest of the command crew are still discussing how to escape when Monroe starts being a bit aggressive with a push for revenge for being attacked. Monroe gets a dressing down, but retorts with, "I'm just saying what everyone is thinking."
Ew, toxic.
According to Monroe, so Monroe can be male or female in this one. Canonically, within the game franchise, they are male because the second game in the franchise, which we'll cover at a later date, you can only be male. So...
I'm not trying to say it's specifically toxic masculinity, but it's definitely a toxic attitude to have. I'm just saying what everybody's thinking.
Right.
I'm like, how old are you?
I think I took it that way because first I was saying it, and second off, the video I watched of this scene was the male one.
Yeah. So. I would not say this is toxic masculinity specifically. It is a toxic character trait to just assume that you get to represent everybody else's opinions without checking in.
Right. According to Monroe, the crew is sick of being on the defensive and actually gets backed up on this by First Officer Jacote, who says morale has tanked because of all of what's been going on.
Oh, they gave him a line. That's so cute.
They give him more than that. He's been involved in a few briefings already and stuff, too.
Okay.
That's why I said he got more to do in this game than he got to do in the whole last season.
Man, that poor actor totally got played by this series. Poor guy.
Tuvok points out that not everything can be solved by force, and that's something that Monroe should have learned by now. Monroe does point out that trying to repair things isn't going to work if another Harvester vessel ship shows up.
Yeah.
They need to do something to at least help with that eventuality. So with this eloquent persuasion from Monroe, Janeway gives a speech about how they have been so wrapped up in their own survival, they have forgotten their responsibility to everyone else who is also trapped here, that if they can help end this, they have to.
Wait. So Janeway's basically saying, why are we only worried about us? We should be worrying about everybody else too.
Not quite in that way, but yes.
Yeah. Yeah. This kind of stuff is the kind of stuff my mother was complaining about. She was like, what captain would say something like this? This is ridiculous. Basically,
They're trying to argue the greater good is something we should also work towards.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I don't know. I think it's just.
I am boiling down a 4-minute speech.
I'll have to see it. The way sometimes that they did it, depending on who was writing it, it would give this weird maternal aspect to Janeway. That's just like,
I didn't quite get that from this, but maybe I wouldn't see that where.
I'll have to watch. Yeah. I'd have to watch again. It's just some little like. There's some inconsistencies with it here and there. I don't know. I'd have to watch the series again.
I think it is in line with her character. We have the reason they're here in the Delta Quadrant in the first place is that she will bend over backwards to help the less fortunate.
That is very true. Okay, I rescind my complaint completely. Anyway, this is also classic Starfleet stuff too.
It is. Yes.
It is. It's just absolutely.
Now, Voyager itself is in no shape to do much of anything, and Monroe suggests a Trojan horse move with the disabled Harvester ship.
Right.
They can use it to infiltrate the Forge and shut down the dampening field, stopping stopping everyone from leaving. So, luckily, the Harvester ship has an autopilot, which will return it to the Forge.
Wow.
So no one has to learn how to fly it beyond return.
This is my kind of game.
I was planning on doing Wing Commander again at some point.
No. Mystic or marriage is over if you do this. Why would you do this?
I have to at some point. I bought 4 games of the franchise for the show.
What? No! Why would you do this to me? You only want me to suffer. Just watch me.
I was also going to do the Journeyman Project, also the sequels to that.
Oh gosh. This is my husband is so cruel.
I also have Zork in the list too still.
You know what? I'll accept Zork. I accept Zork over that.
So they have this ship which will go on autopilot back to the Forge. There is a secondary part of this plan where shuttles will be used to attack the Forge and drop off more troops once they can get them there.
All right.
Crewman Chell, who is played by the same actor as the show, I didn't write it down, and I'm sorry I didn't do that. I only bring this up because he only has 2 appearances.
Yes.
Season 1.
Oh yeah.
And season 7.
The end of the series.
No, right? There's this one Maquis centric episode in season 7 that he's in. So him coming back in this game and being played by the same actor was just, where have you been?
So in Maquis is a whole plot.
We're not getting into it.
Wait. We're not going to get into it other than to say a plot line the writers gave up on before they even figured out anything. They just kind of they're like
a plotline DS9 did more with, even though it was made for Voyager.
Exactly. Exactly.
So Crewman Chell figures out to put the sensor readings for the Forge in a loop so that they won't see the shuttles coming to attack.
Oh my
It's a trope, but it's still clever. I like it.
No. I wouldn't even say it's necessarily a trope. It is a classic trick the computer tactic that has been used with hacking for decades now. It's not even a trope. It's just a tool.
That's
it's
fair.
Like saying they used the hammer to fix the door. That's a trope. It feels like that's what you just said.
They do hit heavy resistance from what we will come to know as the Reavers. So, sorry, we're gearing up for Mass Effect 3 soon.
I know you feel this.
By the way, if you want to have any of those choices for Mass Effect 3 as we go, remember Patreon backers get double the vote in chat.
Double vote, 2 votes in the chat.
And boy, those last choices, we're going to need that chat. So,
Oh, geez.
we eventually meet a being who is amassing thousands and thousands of genetically created beings created using the DNA of the crews trapped by the Forge. So,
How many? Okay. I'm not going to read.
this is a trope.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm not going to redredge everything. But this is like the third thing I clocked in, like, oh, they've already had an episode about this.
Yeah.
Honestly. And not even this series.
No, yeah. The entity doing all this on the Forge is called the Vorsoth. It's got a superiority thing to it. All other species are just infestation in its galaxy, etc., etc.
Oh, yeah. This is totally Harbinger energy right now.
Monroe says it's acting like the Borg, drawing upon other races to create an army. Severin quickly points out the Borg seek perfection.
Yeah.
The Vorsoth is seeking to annihilate all lesser beings. They're not quite the same.
No.
They can both be evil from your perspective. One is definitely worse.
It's like, do you prefer authoritarian monarchy or authoritarian oligarchy? That's kind of like what we're asking for right now.
I wouldn't even go that far. One is literal just, I am over all other beings must die. I think that goes beyond just oligarchy at that point.
I mean, I mean, not to use this language lightly. I think they are both of genocide. Just one has actual more blood spilled, and the other one is a genocide of a culture.
I would do getting political, but it's Star Trek.
It's
yeah.
If you try to do Star Trek without getting political, get out.
It's not
absolutely out of here. Out.
It's not possible.
Yeah,
I don't think it's possible.
It's not possible.
So now we're not just disabling the dampening field. We have to stop this whole thing from continuing. The job now is to destroy the Forge itself, and the teams that come in on shuttlecraft start planting explosives all around the thing.
Oh, no.
We keep getting interrupted by telepathic communications from the Vorsoth, which are then blocked by our Beta Z team member until the strain overwhelms her. I didn't know Beta Zs had that ability to basically act like a telepathic lightning rod.
Oh, wait, didn't you know? This is like the explanation for things of like Troy's mystical pregnancy. Did you not realize that?
Do not bring up this stupid episode again.
I will. She was done dirty. She was absolutely done dirty the first few seasons. She was done dirty until she got a uniform.
Which was Jellicoe. Anyway, no, we're not going to get involved.
Oh my god!
The team is ordered to board the escape shuttle. Monroe flat out refuses and goes solo.
Monroe.
Heading to the central command for the Forge to confront the Vorsoth, which turns out to be a created entity by what the Vorsoth calls the Ancient Ones. And basically, this is the first of many Forges that will spread across the galaxy. And
okay,
yeah.
All right. There's a couple of different plots this could be based on, and I want to know which one.
The Vorsoth is simply following its original programming.
Oh, this is Voyager. This is Voyager all over again.
Monroe and the Vorsoth actually get into a philosophical argument at this point.
Oh, no.
Monroe saying that this ship is thousands of years old, the original programming might have deteriorated and got lost, and the design of the Forge could have been used for research and not conquest. And the Ancient Ones might have been explorers like the Voyager crew. I will say it's ham-fisted. I will give them credit. This is a game from the late 90s.
Yes.
And they're putting these lines in there and even having the debate. I'll give them credit.
Wait, but you have to remember what the first Star Trek movie was about.
No, I understand.
So this is not even original for Star Trek. I'm sorry. I'm not going to give them that much grace. They have recycled a plot that they figured Voyager fans wouldn't remember.
The funny thing is, it didn't occur to me that this was Voyager until you said it.
It's Voyager! It's so Voyager coded. Like, oh my gosh. Was the Betazoid bald? Because then we've just gone full circle.
No, she was not.
Honestly. Oh my gosh. Guys, I'm sorry to be so loud. It's just
You're arguing detailed Voyager versus broad strokes Vorsoth.
You think there was details with Voyager? Did you watch that movie? I know most people fall asleep after looking at the same screen, looking at people, looking at things for about the first, 40 minutes of the freaking movie. But after the 2.5 hours of sleeping, yeah, Voyager's not that detailed of a plot.
Okay. I'm just going to keep going.
No, wait, no. I need to say one more thing about this. I'm sorry. So, my mother was so excited there was going to be a Star Trek movie. She loved the series. She grew up with it. She took a friend to see. She's like, yeah, you should get to experience Star Trek. After seeing the Star Trek, the motion picture, which was literally the name of the first movie, she had to apologize to her friend. She had to apologize. No, don't see the director's cut. See what people actually saw. Because they thought that getting inspiration from 2001: A Space Odyssey was a great idea. That is not Star Trek, guys. Oh, okay. Sorry. Move on.
I actually don't mind the motion picture. It has pacing problems to hell, though.
I don't like staring at people staring at a screen.
That's the pacing problem.
I don't
like
that's not pacing. That's uninteresting. It's not even pacing. It's that why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Like
you're supposed to take inspiration from the movie Space Odyssey, not the people watching it.
No.
I know.
Mystic. No, okay. So first of all,
it's just making okay.
No. There's so many layers to what you just said about how wrong that is. Because okay, I'm gonna. You know what? We're gonna have to record a little after party, and I'm gonna explain to you why.
No,
I. It's either that or I'm gonna get it out now, Mystic. You gotta promise me.
Can you do it in like 3 minutes?
So 2001: A Space Odyssey is actually based on a book. The movie is Kubrick's interpretation of the book. Kubrick's movie, in theory, should make sense. It absolutely doesn't. Because it's so worried about looking aesthetically pleasing that it doesn't actually get to what the core thesis of the book is. And therefore doesn't necessarily make sense unless you are a film nerd to the umpteenth degree. So, this is what Star Trek the Motion Picture was trying to imitate. I want you to understand. Star Trek the Motion Picture was chasing the popularity of a Kubrick film that didn't even properly interpret the book that Kubrick was inspired by. How is this going to succeed?
Fair. Back in this game.
Getting back on track, guys. I'm sorry.
Disaster is averted when the Etherians stop a seed vessel from being launched from the Forge. This was basically going to go on to create a Forge elsewhere in the galaxy. So we're stopping that problem at least.
Oh, yay. Great.
And Monroe stays behind to finish the Vorsoth here on this Forge. Basically, time for final boss fight. With the Vorsoth defeated and the Forge destroyed, Voyager and the other vessels can escape. Monroe is promoted to lieutenant, which is weird considering they disobeyed a direct order.
Yeah,
but
wait. Shouldn't they be demoted to ensign for insubordination?
I guess if you're, do it in a more rock and action way than Tom Paris did, you get the promotion.
But Tom Paris should be given at least one free pass after the Salamander episode. I'm sorry. That's just not fair, guys. That's just not fair.
I actually like that episode.
No!
Hang on. Let me finish.
I'm going to let you finish because I love you. You're so lucky.
For the first half of it.
The part
when they're trying to crack the puzzle of Warp 10, when they're trying to figure out what's going on with him, then when things start going off the rails is when they start talking about how evolution works now. Up until that point, I like it. After that point, it's just awesome makeup effects.
It is,
which honestly,
yes.
Awesome makeup effects.
No, it's not only awesome makeup effects, guys. This is the episode where Tom Paris kidnaps Janeway.
No, yeah.
They both become salamanders and they reproduce with each other. So Tom Paris has children with the captain in canon. And I'm sorry. I'm absolutely sorry. I think that means he should get a pass.
There's another Star Trek podcast show out there. I believe it's To the Journey.
Yeah.
It might be. But whenever they do trivia, they always have Team Lizard Babies as one of the teams. So
they're not even lizards, they're amphibians.
I know.
I'm sorry. So this is why I'm even more upset that Monroe is not demoted, because Tom Paris devolved and procreated because of instinct with the captain, and nobody said, you know what, that guy, he just, we messed with him when we did the warp 10 thing, we should just give him a pass. Like, just give it one. Okay, one insubordination is fine. It's fine. It's totally fine, guys. It's fine. We're in the middle. Like, what? We can't take it.
You're caught up on this whole thing. You know what's always bugged me about that episode?
What?
They go faster than warp 10.
Yeah.
And they both end up at the same point where they can procreate, even though he had gone to warp 10 and had already evolved to a certain point past her. Somehow they caught up by going faster again.
Yes. That also bothers me too.
You're like, now.
No, it has bothered me, I think, when I was younger.
Anyway,
but yes.
Let's continue on.
Yeah.
So Monroe's promoted to lieutenant despite our reservations.
Oh my gosh. Salamander pass. Justice for Paris.
The crew of Voyager find themselves a few months closer to home, with the whole ordeal warping them forward 200 light years. Fair enough. There is a funeral service for some of the crew who died, because there were some crew members who did die during this.
They lose crew left and right on this show, and it does not actually count except for one two-parter.
Yeah.
When then they proceed to wipe it squeaky clean. Oh my God.
And even though Monroe disobeyed a direct order, they all know why. And the crew saw the visions of the Vorsoth and the galactic peril at stake. And Monroe was willing to sacrifice for all of them.
This is the toxic masculinity. This is the part. This is the part. What the heck?
Tuvok even states why he chose Monroe as a member of the Hazard Team, that a good leader can't be all logic and procedure. Gut instinct is also needed, which feels very odd coming from Tuvok.
Toxic masculinity. This is so much stroking of the ego that I'm afraid this is no longer an episode appropriate for children. This is how hard we're stroking this ego. What? Okay, finish what you wrote.
No, the only thing there is Tuvok claims he chose Monroe because he saw the potential for them to be a leader.
So
we also end on a laugh, but we're not even going to cover it because you have to know so much Star Trek to get the laugh.
Oh my gosh! Basically, well, we've taught you at least 1/3 of it now, because I couldn't shut up. I'm willing to accept that I just could not stop myself. I just want, and this actually is a great time to say, this is where kind of a lot of the people who liked TNG and Deep Space Nine started not liking Voyager, because it did have this problem of, you would start with a really good idea, and this game starts with a really good plot idea, the dampener, the mystery of the Forge, the other people stranded here, the diversity of the different type of people stranded here, having to make alliances. That's really interesting. And then we end on silly little Voyager plot. Like, that
Reavers.
that is like for a Star Trek fan who's been a fan with it through many of its iterations, that is a wet fart of an ending of a plot. I'm sorry. It's just so, and this is something that Voyager does a lot. And then unfortunately, with the same kind of showrunners, Enterprise, which was supposed to be a prequel series, is more guilty of it.
Yeah.
I mean, we got the first male pregnancy on... Well, it wasn't the first male pregnancy on TV, was it? I think there was something historic about it.
I don't know what you're talking
about. The engineer
about.
Gets pregnant.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks to a girl alien. And they hyped that up as episode 3 of Enterprise. And then it was... And believe it or not, folks, that it was downhill from there.
I don't know about that. There were some good episodes in the later seasons. What?
There were, and there was some good concepts. For example, if they had better fleshed out the time travel war thing and actually made and this is something that TV hadn't quite embraced yet, was, actual serials, actually following from episode to episode, where Star Trek, especially in Gene Roddenberry's vision, which was much more of a standalone adventure a week kind of situation. And they were still kind of honoring it to a certain extent, as much as the showrunners were moved away from that for Deep Space Nine. For the people who were running Voyager and Enterprise, they were kind of sticking to that. And then they had all these other weird, unnecessary preconceived notions about how things should be. And I think this game is a great example of why Star Trek fans like me, who are like generationally there or started with an older series, kind of poo-poo on Voyager and then definitely don't give Enterprise a lot of respect. And again, it's never the actors. The actors are great.
Now, we of course do know that some of the stuff we're maybe talking about here when it comes to the 90s series has been picked up in more recent series as plot points. We're not talking about those
that's different
episodes right now. We're not talking about those series right now. We're talking about Voyager.
And there's nothing wrong with taking something that was a criticized universe element in previous series and expanding on it and then making it possibly narratively better. I don't think there's anything wrong with that idea. But what I'm speaking about is at the time at Voyager, there's a reason why it didn't hold my mother's attention as much as Next Gen did or even Deep Space Nine. Like, I think my mom genuinely liked parts of Deep Space Nine. First of all, I think the writing was on the wall when she realized they were going to have a character like Neelix.
Who is in this game?
Of course he is. And his actor is great. And I thought he was fun when I was a kid. Now as an adult, I'm like, I won't let you around my children because that character's not written properly considering the circumstances. And I'm not even going to explain that. There's no reason to. It's just
we will just keep going if we keep going. So we
can
probably
keep
should
going
wrap
forever.
this up.
So thank you for covering this, Mystic. I'm glad we will only be playing the first half because the second half.
Not even first half. You may not even get to the first. There's 8 missions. You won't even finish the first one probably.
And I'm fine with that. I also do not want to embrace the toxic personality traits of Monroe, which proceed to get inflated at the end like a balloon on top of a helium tank. Like, What the heck, man?
It is kind of the lacking nuance of game has to game. Of the era.
Yeah. That's fair. Of the era. This is one of the benefits of becoming a gamer around the time that I met you, because that was when things were transitioning to more nuanced endings, which was one of the reasons why the first Mass Effect did really well.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So we're the Thursday after this airs to the public, you can watch me play this. And I will definitely not be as excitable, I don't think, for what we get through when it comes to that. But we'll do that. Don't forget, alternate Thursdays is when
we're still playing Forgotten City, but Mass Effect 3 will be in the next month or so, probably.
Yeah. So we highly suggest you get ready for that, especially if you want to get double the voting privileges. And
also, you get voting privileges for Forgotten City if we ask for a vote. There's not a ton. We're kind of following a walkthrough because we don't want to sit in it forever, but
yeah, that's very true. In addition, if you want a cozy stream, every other Tuesday, I do a cozy stream of The Sims 4. It's just 2 ladies who love each other with their cat, and they just bought a cottage that we just renovated. It looks beautiful. I might add a second floor. So feel free to join us for that too. Otherwise, thanks for listening to this episode. Thanks for listening to me ramble. I'm sorry. I love Star Trek so much. But it's a very Chicagoan thing to love something and still insult it because you're critiquing it with love.
Mm.
It is a thing that we do, and that is the way that I love Star Trek. It is not perfect, but it is perfect for me.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, guys. We will catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.